Hi, I wanted to talk about why effort feels good. I wanted to make a video today highlighting why effort feels good and how you can get yourself in a state of wanting to take on more efforts and more challenges. I speak from my own experience that effort feels good and being lazy makes you more stressful, more depressed, and more anxious. I've been at both sides of the spectrum and I found my happiness in the effort side. It's not always easy, but it's always been worth it taking on efforts. You will feel better, you will accomplish more in life, you'll contribute more to the people around you, you will add more value to society, and you are becoming more and more of an example that people want to follow. And I want to highlight a clip between Andrew Huberman and Lex Fridman on the Lex Fridman podcast. Andrew Huberman is someone I follow on Twitter and YouTube. And Andrew Huberman talks a lot about the human body, hormones, and why effort feels good. Testosterone, dopamine, all the relationships in between. And I'm far from understanding all of it, but it's very, very interesting to learn all about it.
This brings us into the realm of neuroendocrinology. There's a fascinating relationship between the hormone system and the nervous system. And hormones work in general on slower timescales. The definition of a hormone is a chemical released at one location in the body, goes and acts at multiple locations far away within the body. Pheromone would be between two bodies. Neurochemicals like dopamine and serotonin tend to work a little more quickly. There are hormones like adrenaline and cortisol that can work very fast, but here I'm referring mainly to testosterone, prolactin. Prolactin tends to be, in men and women, tends to make people kind of lazy and want to take care of young. It tends to throw down body fat so we can stay up late. It's secreted in response to having children. These are all in humans and in animals. There's a very interesting relationship between testosterone and dopamine that speaks directly to what we're talking about now. So dopamine and testosterone are closely related in the pituitary system. And obviously testosterone comes from the adrenals and from the testes. But the major effect of testosterone is to make effort feel good. That's what testosterone does. It has other effects too, right? Reproductive effects, androgenizing parts of the body, etc. But it makes effort feel good.
This is something I want to point out right in between this clip. That's the point of this video. Testosterone helps you feel good. So keep that in mind first and foremost.
The testosterone molecule is synthesized from cholesterol. Cholesterol can either be made into cortisol, a stress hormone, or testosterone, but not both. So you have a limited amount of cholesterol and it gets diverted towards stress or towards or this pathway where effort feels good. That's the pathway you want to get into. The anger pathway, if we were to just kind of play a mind experiment here, the anger eventually is going to divert more of that cholesterol molecule to cortisol and stress, and you will be slowly depleting testosterone. Now, going into this, you'll have plenty of testosterone, but after a couple days, there have been very interesting studies showing that testosterone doesn't necessarily drop with sleep deprivation. That's a bit of a myth. You need it to replenish testosterone. You need sleep to replenish testosterone eventually. But the real question is, are you enjoying what you're doing? And the takeaway from all of this is, if you can just convince yourself, or ideally, if you can just enjoy yourself, you are going to maintain or maybe even increase testosterone stores, which will make effort feel good. And to me, aside from neuroplasticity, where everything becomes automatic after this experience, to me, that's the holy grail. When effort feels good, life just gets way better. And we're not talking about achieving the reward. I'm not talking about the end of this thing. I'm talking about the process of it feeling really good.
Yeah, there is a magic to, I don't know if you can comment on this, but I find myself being able to, if I just say I'm feeling good, like this old hack of like smiling while you're running. If I just tell myself I'm feeling really good right now, no matter how I'm actually feeling, I'll start feeling way better. And the whole thing, there's a cascading effect that allows me to maximize the effort. It's quite fascinating. It's weird.
Hormones are powerful. The relationship between thoughts and hormones and these physiological things is enormous. I had a colleague that a few years ago, he was dying pancreatic cancer. And I was interviewing him just because he's an important figure in our community and I was a friend. And there was one day where he told me, he said, I don't want to make it past the new year. And it was crushing for me to hear. And I knew that he had been on some androgen therapy for a whole set of other things. And I said, have you taken your androgen cream? And he was like, no, I haven't done it. Go get it for me. I have this on film. He takes it. He puts the androgen cream on. I'm not suggesting people take androgens, by the way. 10 minutes later, he says, you know what? I think I want to live into the new year. And I'm going to write 12 letters of recommendation. He went to MIT, by the way. He said, I'm going to write 12 letters of recommendation. And he did. And so there's something about these molecules that in an ancient way, in all organisms, all mammals, as far as we know, are linked to the will to live. They're linked to effort and making effort feel good, which has been fundamental to the evolution of our species. I always say people think that the opposite of testosterone is estrogen, but it's not. The opposite of testosterone is prolactin, which makes us feel quiescent and not in pursuit of things, etc. Testosterone makes effort feel good. Estrogen makes emotions feel okay. and they are in mixed amounts in all people, as I say, of all chromosomal backgrounds.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a relationship between the hormone system and the nervous system, and hormones are relatively slow. And there are effects that take time to develop and to be observed. But, as Andrew Huberman highlighted, there's an interesting relationship between testosterone and dopamine. And dopamine makes you feel good, of course. Testosterone helps you make effort feel good. So testosterone releases dopamine when taking on effort. Testosterone molecule synthesizes from cholesterol, and the human body has a limited amount of cholesterol available. And cholesterol can either synthesize into cortisol, the stress hormone, which I also addressed in my alcohol video, or it can synthesize into testosterone, which makes effort feel good. So you can sort of fake it until you make it. And Lex highlighted this in his smiling during running example. If you can force yourself to enjoy an exercise, you will feel empowered and lifted. Think about this. You're doing a push-up set and feel a little bit tired and lazy and do not look forward to the next set. But if you can just pump yourself up a bit, remind yourself, hey, I gotta do this next set too, and then I'll be done with my workout. You will feel better in your workout and get through it. So you can train this. Smiling during running, smiling during your workout set, whatever. It is a manifest of feeling good. And if you're able to make yourself feel good during effort and exercise, it will also be easier to start exercising next time and to take on the next challenge. While if you are procrastinating, you are not turning cholesterol into testosterone, but instead in cortisol, which makes you feel more stressed, and that of course will make you procrastinate more, tends to make you more lazy. It will have increased your prolactin level, so you will get even more lazier and look even less forward to doing your next exercise. It's a downward spiral, but you can get out of it. So you can either turn your cholesterol reserves into testosterone, which boosts your productivity and happiness, or you turn it into cortisol, which makes you more stressful and more anxious, and it will be harder for you to start anything at all. Prolactin is a hormone that tends to make you more lazy, which makes you feel even more stressful, and you will tend to procrastinate even more. You can reverse that trajectory, and it can feel good right from the start. And keep in mind, it will get better from there. I think it also relates in general to happy people being more productive, and vice versa, more productive people being happier. So, realize you can start feel better by taking on effort. Take on some challenges and overcome them. Write down a challenge. Be specific in a deadline and the measurability. And check it off once you've accomplished it. It will make you feel better right away. If you make a habit of this, it will make you feel better during the day, during the week, and it's also easier getting out of bed in the morning. I can tell you this from my own experience. It's not always going to be easy and automatic, but I never regretted doing a workout or taking on a challenge that I have overcome. And I always feel better afterwards, even when I tried and failed to overcome the challenge and failed to meet my desired outcome. It's better to be a failure than to never try at all. Progress is worth more than perfection. So aim for progress in taking challenges, and that effort will make you feel good. And ultimately it will result in more happiness. I truly believe that. And I want to somehow inspire you in taking on more efforts. If you want to be inspired and start with an effort that makes you feel good, go to the link of this clip in this description below this video and listen to the clip between Andrew Huberman and Lex Fridman over and over. Try to understand what Andrew Huberman is talking about. Google the terms he uses and how they relate to one another, and learn and find out what there is to find out. Write down your progress, even like 1 or 2 sentences is okay. And it doesn't have to be perfect right from the start. But the fact that you took action will make you feel good. And beware, if you procrastinate or skip this one out, I guarantee you it will unconsciously make you feel more stressful because you're not doing something that will help you feel better probably. Make the right choice. I love you, dear stranger.